The year-end and beginning of the new year is the busiest season for the performing arts, with brand new productions, revivals, and headline-making shows all opening at once. Many people find themselves asking, what should I go see this month? Today, we'll take a closer look at some of the must-see musicals currently on stage with Professor Chie Hye-won, a culture critic and professor at Kyung Hee University. Welcome, Professor Chie, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So we also welcome you on K-Culture Dive. The last time that we talked was on the Culture Wave.
Right.
And we did talk about the 2025 best productions of the year last year. So now we're going to talk about the new stuff.
Okay.
And it looks like the musical scene is very vibrant right now.
Right.
We've got some well-known titles dominating the charts. And I understand that you went to watch some of those as well recently.
Yes, I did. So as you just mentioned, the winter holiday is the peak season for the performing arts. So I've seen several theater productions, including Kinky Boots, Beetlejuice, and Moulin Rouge. So personally, the return of Beetlejuice was especially impressive, with the Kim Jun-soo joining the cast as Beetlejuice and challenging himself with the comic acting for the first time. And the Kinky Boots has been a box office hit in Korea since its premiere in 2014. So this seventh production continues to captivate the audiences with its energetic performance.
All right, we're going to talk about some of these productions now in more detail. So let's talk about Kinky Boots first.
Okay.
So it has been receiving consistently praise from the audience. So what's behind this lasting power? And when you went to watch it, how was the response and the atmosphere from the audience?
Right. When Kinky Boots was first introduced in Korea 10 years ago, no, it's like almost 12 years ago.
Wow.
So I was actually a little concerned about whether the material would resonate in our country, because where audiences are relatively unfamiliar with the drag queen culture. However, the musical's key message, just be who you want to be, is the key message. So that is a very powerful force that inspire audiences with the courage and energy. So especially Lola and the Angels, captivating dance and singing are crucial elements that the audiences to fully enjoy the musical's unique charm. So the day I went to see it was the Christmas day. So it was sold out performance. So I also noticed that there were some audience members who were wearing the red costumes, which is the Kinky Boots' signature color and the Christmas color as well. So and the wider marketing for Kinky Boots are also contributed greatly to the success of this musical. So and you guys probably heard about the YouTube channel 방송국 musical star were Girola. So many audiences seemed already familiar with the numbers like Land of Rolla or Raise You Up through the various media contents, and it seemed they really loved the show, and it seemed like they waiting for the numbers, and they are just enjoy the show.
I can imagine how it would have been at the site, feeling that energy by the audience together.
Have you
especially
seen
on
the
Christmas
show?
Day. I haven't watched it yet. I wish I
should.
can before this winter season. I'll try.
Yes, it's one of the biggest names in musicals. When you talk about a lot of the big names, Kinky Boots is one that comes up. But another one that does come up is Beetlejuice, and you mentioned just before a little bit how impressed you are. Now, this season in particular, it has generated a lot of buzz. From your perspective, what is the core appeal of this musical, and what stood out for you the most?
Personally, I loved the Tim Burton's movie when I was a kid. So I first saw the musical version on Broadway 2019. So and it premiered in Korea in 2021. So making it a relatively quick introduction to Korea. So because it's a comedy and fantasy, the musical has a fast tempo, and the synergy between the actors is very crucial. So in that sense, the chemistry between the actors in this production is truly remarkable. Kim Jun-soo, Jung Sung-hwa, and Jung Won-young play the Beetlejuice, while Hong Na-yeon and Jang Min-jae play the little girl Lydia. So one of the charm of this musical is the magical stage effect, so such as projection mapping and rotating stage, or for the three-dimensional structures and large-scale puppets. So the extraordinary stage presented by supernatural being Beetlejuice captivates the eyes and ears of the audiences all the time.
And I feel like Kim Jun-soo, the actor, he has established himself like as a musical actor in recent years that you almost forget that he used to be a member of a K-pop group and, you know, has been singing K-pop before. So yeah, I think that's another one that I have to put on the list. But both Kinky Boots and Beetlejuice, Professor Chie, are licensed productions. And some people say that the tone and the energy change when they meet Korean actors and Korean audience, of course. So how do you see licensed musicals evolving on the Korean stage?
What distinguishes the performing arts from the film is that it is the live entertainment. So in other words, the live arts is finally completed on stage when it meets the audiences. Accordingly, performing arts are also local arts with the local audiences, which means that the interaction with the live audiences is reflected a lot in the completion of the work. So both Kinky Boots and Beetlejuice are based on the film produced in the United States. So they present the subject matters that feels emotionally somewhat distant to us and contains some unfamiliar humors as well. But that distance is overcome with excellent translation and localization and the connection with the audience members. In particular, comedian Lee Chang-ho, Girola, who played Girola on YouTube, he actually participated in the adaptation and translation of Beetlejuice this time, so achieving the Korean-style localization. So in the case of Kinky Boots, it feels like the audience has completely fallen in love with this show already, and it has been performed for over 10 years in Korea. So and you can see them all dancing and singing together during the curtain call.
That must have been a sight.
Everyone is standing up.
Including yourself?
Of course.
And now there are some new productions to look forward to this January. Which ones would you like to introduce us to?
Right, a new musical ArirangNews is about to open this month. So the show is based on the novel The Dream Journey to the Peach Blossom Land 목류도원도 by Choi In-ho, which took motif from the tale of 도미설화 in 삼국사기. So it depicts the tragic love of Arang and her husband Domi and the King Yeogyung's vain desire become intertwined. So musical 목류도원 is produced by Acom Company, which was produced the last Empress 명성황후 and hero Yeongung. And this show will premiere at National Theatre of Korea on January 27th. So I am very looking forward to see this show. So 민우혁 and Kim Ju-taek will play Yeogyung, Yuria and Ha Yun-ju play Arang, and the role of Domi will be played by Lee Chung-ju, Kim Sung-sik, and Yoon Chae-won. So as this show, this musical was adapted from a novel based on the Korean folktale, it was actually planned as a global project from the beginning. So, and I'm so excited to see how it will captivate audiences beyond Korea.
But not to be mistaken with our AI anchor Arang.
Right.
But I think, this is based on a Korean novel, and it revolves around Korean history, and it involves Korean music like pansori.
Right.
So how more Korean can it get? So I think it's going to be really significant if such a Korean production will make it big overseas as well. And I think the producer also said what is Korean can also be universal.
Right.
So let's do hope that this is also going to make it around the world as well. But Professor Chie, when we look at the Korean musical market today, there's a lot of attention centered on the star cast, with the same actors sometimes repeatedly doing the same roles. So are there some pros and cons regarding this star-driven structure, would you say?
It is common in Korea musical market for the multiple actors to play one character. So producers cast stars because they consider marketing effects and box office success as well. And it also has the advantage of following the fans of those stars to develop into musical theater. So this aims to stimulate the desire to our audiences as well to see the stars in person, whom they've seen only on TV or big screen. So, however, one of the drawbacks is that there are many cases where the audiences come to see the show, and I mean the actors rather than the show. So even for the same show, there are often cases where ticket sales are vary greatly depending on the specific actor. So in other theater markets such as Broadway or West End, it is more common for one actor play one character. In other words, multicasting is not usual, except for their child actors. Child actors do the multicast. So, and the actors who performed on opening night, we call them original cast. And they, of course, in the case of a long-running show, the actors are naturally replaced, and they would become the replacement cast.
But I think it's interesting. Sometimes people go watch a musical because they have their maybe favorite K-pop star being there, but then they fail in the ticketing. They turn out to watch the other actor, and then they fall again in love with that other musical actor. So I think it's always a good idea if you like one play or one musical to watch these different versions.
Right.
Indeed, indeed. And it's still the start of the year. So finally, if we take a brief look at 2026, I'm sure we'll get to talk about them throughout the year. But are there any trends, keywords that you would like to speak with our audience or that we should keep an eye on for this year?
Yeah, in 2026, a number of recent Broadway productions are scheduled to premiere in Korea. The recent Broadway musical Lempicka depicts the life of painter Tamara de Lempicka, will be introduced to Korean audiences in March, so it's like 2 months away. And Hell's Kitchen, which is based on the life and the music of legendary singer-songwriter Alicia Keys, will be performed at GSR Center in July. And Disney theatricals Frozen, 겨울왕국, will be performed in Korean productions at the Charlotte Theater in August. And in addition, other major works such as 광화문 연가, 광화문 Love Song, Beethoven, Billy Elliot, and Phantom of the Opera are scheduled to return to stage once again in 2026. So I think we should keep an eye on Korean musical theater this year as well.
And you're going to help us with that, of course.
Of course. We should go together.
Yes, that's a good idea. I think it's interesting, though, that Frozen is going to be released in August, because you would think you would see it in the winter season.
Of course.
But so many interesting musicals to look forward to, and especially because of maybe Happy Ending's success last year. I think that's a momentum for Korean original musicals also to grow this year. So lots to look forward to.
Yes, I hope many musical theaters go beyond Korea. I mean, there are many other countries. So
yes, so excited about that to happen.
Me too.
And thank you very much, Professor Chie, for your insights today, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. Have a wonderful weekend, and we're going to see you back on Monday.
See you on Monday.